Hi. Hi, welcome to Crackers and Milk. Yeah. This is your host. Well, I'm Jake.
Yes, this is Jake, and then here's Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike.
I'm Dave.
Hi.
Hey, guys.
We took over.
If you can't tell, I'm looking at the camera. So watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, watch us.
YouTube.
Yeah, go YouTube.
Look up Crackers and Milk. By the way, every time I look it up on YouTube, I type in Crackers and Milk, and it's always this other guy's channel first.
Oh,
It makes me mad. Like,
well, we need to...
we need more
boost,
content.
Boost the... Get it a little bit better. Okay, Jacob has our synopsis.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Greatest movie.
How dare you. It has been 3 years since the Clone Wars began. Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker rescue Chancellor Palpatine from General Grievous, the commander of the droid armies, but Grievous escapes. Suspicions are raised within the Jedi Council concerning Chancellor Palpatine, with whom Anakin has formed a bond.
I'm acting it out for you.
Asked to spy on the Chancellor, and full of bitterness toward the Jedi Council, Anakin embraces the dark side.
What a wonderful movie this one is. The best Star Wars movie.
It's the best
ever.
of the prequels.
Sure.
How dare you?
And it came out in 2005. Oh.
What was its competition that year, Dave?
I don't want to say the first one.
Harry Potter?
Goblet of Fire.
Harry Potter?
Yes, Goblet of Fire. And then Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
What did Harry Potter make?
$897.9 million.
Dang.
Yeah.
And then Revenge of the Sith made $850. So not too bad. Then Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
4, War of the Worlds, Tom Cruise.
Never saw it.
Number 5,
Really?
King Kong.
Saw that.
The remake. Madagascar. The first one.
Yeah.
Which was a good one. Really good one. 7, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I ate a lot of popcorn in that movie.
Which one, Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
I ate a large by myself.
Bradgelina. Yeah.
Broke up a marriage, but
yeah.
Still a good movie.
Still. 8, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The remake.
With Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Johnny Depp. Then 9, Batman Begins. And then 10, Hitch.
I love Hitch.
368.1 mil that Hitch made.
Hey, I want to do a little shout out for the Chronicles of Narnia to my dear wife, Sheena. That was the first movie we saw together.
Oh.
And the first time she got to be very embarrassed by what I do in movie theaters.
Oh.
So they have a technology called DLP. It's the light source for the projectors. Mm-hmm. And so they show DLP. And I love that technology. So when it shows up on the screen, I yell out, "Yeah, DLP!" And she hates it. And I do it to this day. Please don't do it, Mike. Please don't do it, Mike. No, I have to do it.
I don't think I can ever go and see a movie with you.
It's so fun. Because I'm like, technology guy, yeah!
Well, yeah.
DLP!
But keep it up here.
No, because when I've gone to Star Wars on opening night, it's, everybody's clapping. I'm like, well, they can clap for the movie, but I can't clap for the technology.
Do you know what I say when people clap? In my loudest voice, I say, "Nobody's here to receive the applause."
So you shout stuff out, too, so it's not so bad.
You really do that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, you need to be there when I see DLP. It's so fun.
We need to go see a movie together. That's all. We just need to see a DLP movie together, which we will.
DLP.
And Mike has our money.
Yay! All right. So we talked about we're getting too close to 2019, so the millions of dollars are negligible. So the budget was $113 million. The U.S. opening weekend was $108 million. So wow, they almost made it all back.
Almost.
Yeah. Gross total in the U.S. was $380 million. And then worldwide, as you said earlier, $850 million. So the budget of $113 million and a profit of $850. They got 763% profit.
Oh, so it went up.
It went up.
Just this one time.
Because it was the best of the
Because it was
prequels.
best of the prequels. Yeah.
And that's probably word of mouth that people went and saw that. Because Attack of the Clones, if they went off the Attack of the Clones, no one would go and see Revenge of the Sith.
Probably.
Right?
No, it was... People are still going to go see... I mean, people still go and see the movies now because it's Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay, so interesting facts about Revenge of the Sith. Still the greatest one. Still the greatest one.
By
ever
far
made.
and away, the best of the prequels.
I wanted to keep watching.
Yeah, this one you always want to keep watching.
The pacing in this is so much better than the other two.
Yep. Action. And I think it does give it you feel that it's so much better because the other two were so bad that it's like anything is better than the first two.
Well, anything's better than the first one.
Yeah. Oh my.
Because if you do the machete order, you don't watch 1, you watch 2 and 3.
Why wouldn't you watch 1 in the machete order?
So the machete order, for folks who don't know what it is, you watch 4, 5, 2, 3, 6.
4, 5, 2, 3, 6. Why in that order?
Because at the end of Empire Strikes Back, Yoda warns them about all this. And then you see what happened after the reveal of, no, I am your father.
Huh.
And you see, not little boy Anakin, actual, I'm a badass Jedi Padawan and soon to be Jedi Knight.
Okay.
And then you really understand when Yoda says the Emperor is treacherous because you've seen Yoda fight the Emperor.
Yeah.
Huh. But, so, yes, I agree with you that 1 sucks.
Yeah.
2 is better. 3 is the best of the 3.
And so, like, you're going to have a bit more fond memories with 3.
With 3, yeah.
With 3, yeah.
Yeah, I went and saw this with Ryan.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this a couple times. I want to say 3 times because I know I watched it. I went on 2 dates and watched it. And both dates, like I went, like both dates, like it was like a weekend where I did like a Saturday or Friday with one, and then I did the Saturday with one. Oh my gosh!
Me and Ryan went and saw it at the Hollywood Connection when it was still open.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
I was working there when you went and saw that movie.
Were you?
I worked at the Hollywood Connection. Yep. And
Did you know his wife?
I don't know. What was his wife's name?
Tiffany Allen.
Tiffany Allen.
Or Tiffany. No, it was Allen at the time.
It was Allen at the time.
I probably did.
She was one of the managers there.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably knew her and just didn't know her.
Yeah.
And I forgot all the people I worked with, so.
That was before you met Sheena? Or
Yeah, just barely before I met her.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a couple months after that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Did you watch it at Hollywood?
Oh, I didn't watch it at Hollywood. I don't think I watched it until it came out on DVD.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I don't go to movies. I'm not going to pay to go to a movie.
Yeah, but that would have been like
I know.
half off free almost for you.
Oh, yeah.
Because you worked there.
Yeah.
It was free for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I could go see movies for free, but I wanted to work there and go home because working there sucks.
Well, it's not open anymore, so
No,
nobody
it's
has to
gone.
worry about
Yeah,
working there.
Yeah.
Unless they open another one, which they probably will at one point in life.
There is one remaining. I think it's in Alabama or something. Hollywood Connection.
Hollywood Connection. Wow. One. Wow.
There was only 2 ever. One here and one in Alabama. And the one in Alabama stayed open.
Well, I had a lot of fun at the Hollywood Connection when it was there.
Yeah.
I had fun watching this movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to go
agree.
home and watch 4, 5, and 6 right
Just
away
to-
after seeing this one.
Did you or no? And I could see that. Like this one definitely was a great one to lead into, and Vader. You realizing where he was. He had the full body, and then he had how he got just kind of like beat up by Obi-Wan, and then the Emperor finding him and putting on the suit. It's like, that's a really good ending to the movie.
Yeah.
The no part was a little weird, but that's okay.
Yeah. The plot holes.
Let's hear them.
Yeah.
How does Leia remember her mother?
Oh my gosh, yes. She's a baby.
When she dies, yeah.
Yeah.
How does she remember?
How does she remember her mother?
I don't remember my mother. Luke's is plausible. Luke's is easy.
Yeah. She was sad.
How do you remember that?
How do you remember that?
Midichlorians in her bloodstream.
No. Okay, I'm going to tell you how I rewrote it. With midichlorians in your bloodstream, they're in everybody's bloodstream. The amount you have is a good indicator that you can use the Force.
Huh.
It's not the reason you feel the Force, it's a sign that you can use the Force.
If you so choose.
Yeah. That's the way I've rewritten it in my head, and it makes way more sense.
So are you delegated a certain amount? Or
No.
does everybody have the same amount?
No.
No.
Because Yoda's is high, and then Anakin's is off the charts, and he has more than Yoda.
Yeah.
That's from episode 1.
That's from episode 1.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, C-3PO gets his gold outfit in this one.
Yep.
Fan service. Have you heard the theory that the prequels are told from the point of view of R2-D2, and that's why he's so much more of a? Because
No.
How?
so think about it.
Yeah.
He's always saving them.
Yeah.
So he's telling it the way he sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Not to get too far off track, but in the beginning, he saves them in the elevator.
Yeah.
He destroys those 2 robots pretty easily too.
Yeah.
Amazingly easily.
Yeah. How come he never uses his rocket boosters?
Yes.
And oil. Like, he has a thing of oil, and let's burn people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the opening battle with Obi-Wan and Anakin flying to Grievous's ship, the Obi-Wan's droid gets destroyed by those bad little
Those
robots,
things, yeah.
But not
R2.
Shock him, R2.
In the center eye, R2.
Yep.
R2 is a lot of spunk.
And how does Obi-Wan Kenobi not know who R2-D2 is? Now, the lines he says is, I've never owned a droid.
Yeah. But he was surprised. He's like, oh.
Yeah. Come here, little one.
Yeah.
Huh. So the plot holes.
Any more plot holes?
Yeah.
I like plot holes. They're pretty fun.
Kind of, but no.
Kind of. What does that mean?
All the prequels are. It's just George made problems that had to be retconned.
Retconned?
Go watch
retcon.
the Clone Wars TV show.
And then I'll
And
understand.
they fill in the plot holes there.
They fill in the plot holes. Which
Which
if I would have wrote these,
yeah.
there wouldn't have been any plot holes. Because I love Star Wars and I understand the story.
And see, that's the thing is, like, it's so strange that you've watched those movies, you understand those, like, in George Lucas's mind, like I would think, you understand those movies what really is in your canon and what really works. I can understand adding some things that go along with it, like, stuff that they've added with Rey and Kylo Ren. Mm-hmm. I can understand that. I'm like, oh yeah, I can understand, because that's another thing of the Force that can be brought up. Mm-hmm. Adding it where it's natural.
Yeah.
Some of the things that he adds, just, it's like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. But it's George Lucas, and he, like, to me, I've learned, as you watch the Star Wars movies, he never makes sense. Even 3, 4, and 5. Sometimes 4, because he's the one who directed it. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, overall, and so it's like you have to be okay with, no, that's him as a director, that things just don't make sense. And you have to know who he is as a person. But I could be totally wrong.
I don't know. I understood Episode 4 pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because it was a children's film.
Well, yeah.
Can I ask just a question for Jake?
Yeah.
Are there any other screenwriters out there who are also directors of their own story that you know of?
I don't understand it.
Yeah, that don't understand it. Like, that's is he like the unique one who, I have this great idea, I'm going to direct it, but I'm terrible at keeping it together. Like, I just don't know if...
I think he believed in himself, where, I don't know, maybe it was just too much.
Because here's another
I can't
thing.
think of anybody.
But here's another thing, like, Star Wars is so iconic and everybody wants to believe this, and this could happen. There could be a galaxy far, far away.
And a long time ago.
That this all happened.
Yeah.
Maybe George, he could be a prophet for all I know. He's receiving all this stuff, but he just doesn't know how to put it together.
Translate it.
He can't. Yeah, he can't get it out on the table. I just wonder: is there other people out there that
go watch J.J. Abrams movies, and he understands his stories. Go watch M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, his movies. For the most part, he understands his story. The problem with him is he thinks he's Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Go watch Christopher Nolan. Yeah. He definitely understands his story. We don't.
Yeah.
With him. Go watch Interstellar again. Tell me what that movie is.
Good question.
Yeah. Go watch Inception again.
I love Inception.
Yeah. Go watch The Prestige.
Oh, I love Prestige. Yeah.
That's it.
I can watch that over and over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
George Lucas.
That's what's frustrating.
Probably the closest is Michael Bay.
Where he doesn't understand?
No, he understands, but what he translated it to his explosions.
Yeah, I can see
So is George just not good at getting it to film?
He's not good at getting it to film.
And he writes the story, but he doesn't... He just gets the main idea and he puts it on the screen.
Compare this to the original Indiana Jones movies.
I love Indiana Jones.
George Lucas wrote and produced. Steven Spielberg directed.
Yeah.
Which stories make more sense? The original Indiana Jones trilogy or the prequel trilogy?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, yeah.
By far.
By far.
Because George got the story good, but then Steven sees it and be like, "Oh no, this is going to work. But he also had the clout that George. It was just
They were friends,
equals yes. In it. So where it's like, no, we're not doing that. This is what we're. Steven could say, no, we're not doing that. And then if Steven has a crazy idea, George would be like, no, you're not doing that. That's crazy. No, they can off balance each other. Like George, all these other ones, he didn't have an off balance.
Which is why Steven Spielberg should have directed the prequels. They would have been much better movies. But 3 is still a very good movie.
Yeah. But do you think... I understand, do you think Spielberg would have? Because at that time, I don't know what he was doing, but I don't know if he would have done that.
Did he direct Jurassic Park too?
I don't know if he did too.
Schindler's List was...
No, that was early
90s. You know, he could have been having a dry spell at this time, where he wasn't doing very much.
Yeah, but anyways, to get back to episode 3.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh yeah, he did do 2, by the way. Jurassic Park 2.
Oh, did he? Okay. Which is around this time.
Okay.
Jurassic Park 2 came out in 97.
Okay.
So he could have done it.
Steven Spielberg should have directed the prequels.
Yes, he should have.
So this movie probably has the best lightsaber battle.
With Yoda?
No, with Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end.
I agree with that.
It lasts longer than any of the other ones.
Yeah.
It shows how much Obi-Wan loves Anakin and how much Anakin hates Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because of this being seduced in the dark side that Anakin was. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that Samuel L. Jackson says that Mace Windu is still alive?
You can't ever argue with that anymore, Jake. Like, he can say that.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
It's his character.
It's his character, but also, like, Luke saying no one ever leaves us. Like, no one ever dies. And then in the trailer for Rise of Skywalker, you have Palpatine's laugh. And then in Rogue One, at the end, you're just like, yeah... It's like comic books now. To me, that part is like comic books. If you have like, Darth Maul's not dead.
No.
Qui-Gon Jinn shouldn't be dead, but he's dead.
No, he's dead. He's a Force ghost.
Yeah. So they're not really. To me, it's like they're not dead.
If they get that Obi-Wan movie off the ground,
they have to put Qui-Gon.
They have to put Qui-Gon in,
just because to help him understand. Oh, this is his story. Yeah. This is Qui-Gon, his extra training that they referred to in Episode 4.
Exactly. Become one with the Force.
So, going into the canon, tell me about immortality. Sith immortality.
Wait. There was one that was able to overcome death, but...
Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
Didn't Sidious kill Darth Plagueis?
In his sleep? Was that what it was?
It is believed that
Darth
Plagueis was the master, and Palpatine, Sidious was the apprentice.
Well, okay.
And so the rule of 2 came here. This is canon because in Palpatine's office there's a piece of artwork depicting the Mandalorian War, which happened long ago, and it is a video game.
Yeah.
I forget which video game, but you play a character named Revan.
Uh-huh.
Revan is the prodigal Jedi. He...
What do you mean prodigal? What does that mean? Like
the prodigal son.
Oh, the prodigal. Okay.
He was a Jedi Knight.
And then...
After fighting in the Mandalorian War, he was seduced by the dark side, because he and his partner, Malik, went to investigate the Sith that was behind the war. Yeah. And they get seduced by the dark side and they become Sith.
Yeah. So there's more than... there's 3 or something like
that? There's like 3 different video games. Okay. Anyways, he is somewhat rescued by the Jedi and they wipe his mind of that.
Oh.
And his story goes along, and lots of crazy stuff happens. I won't go into all the detail, but eventually, after he's passed away, a Sith Lord named Darth Bane finds his holocron, which information about how to be a Sith Lord. And Revan...
So they get rid of all Sith Lords, and then they find the record of how to be a Sith Lord, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because there was all these Sith, and they were just fighting and killing each other.
It was
and
in civil, like in battle, Civil War sort of stuff.
Yeah. So Darth Bane finds this holocron where Revan says there should only be two, a master and apprentice, and that's came about the rule of one. Now there's something new going on called the Force of One, where one rules and the other are subservient to him. But at the time of these movies, there was just the rule of two,
of a
master and an apprentice.
So now with the rule of one, they're doing a rule of one because, like in the
it's in the comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't read all that much, but
wow.
So that is canon because that artwork is on Palpatine's wall in his office.
And is that in Episode 3?
It's in Episode 3, yeah. When 5 Jedi couldn't kill one guy,
which is weird.
The robot chicken one, where they just go. That's what should have happened.
Yes. Okay. With the love story, like what we talked about in the last one. Okay.
Still kind of hokey.
Hokey in Attack of the Clones. Still hokey and still weird in Revenge of the Sith.
Does nobody notice Anakin, leave the group and go hug a woman hiding in the shadows?
I just need to go over here for a second while you all keep walking.
Yeah.
This is what Roger Ebert says about George Lucas. To say George Lucas cannot write a love scene is an understatement. Greeting cards have expressed more passion. And I agree with that. I totally 100% agree. He should stay away from a love scene and have his actors just kind of go off script on that. Because, like, Han's...
I know.
That one, I know. Oh, I know it's not a love scene, but it's still like...
But
I know that you love me, and I know you love me. You know that I care about you, and I love you too.
Yes.
But I know.
But he portrayed that with 2 words, I know.
Yeah.
And the way he looked at her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like,
you
trust your actors.
You tell me Natalie Portman couldn't have come up with better stuff than...
Yep. Anybody, I think Natalie Portman could have. Hayden Christensen could have probably. But like, I think if George allowed Natalie Portman to do her thing, it would have elevated Hayden Christensen to come like, oh my gosh, she's a great actress. Yeah. I need to come. I need to bring it. Yeah. And this is what I need to do to be like, to reach the same level as her.
Yeah.
Personally speaking.
Exactly. But George was a god unto himself by this point.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really all that we can ever say about him with it. Like, that's the biggest thing that we all complain. Well, we complain about that one.
So, Anakin is the chosen one. He did bring balance to the Force.
Oh.
How many Jedi were left?
2.
How many Sith are there?
2.
So there's balance.
No. Now, in new canon and stuff, there's more Jedi that survived.
Yeah.
But if you just
like
take
all over the galaxy survived? Okay.
If you just take the...
What is shown, what canon is and what is
shown in the movies, he totally brings balance to the Force.
Okay. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
Right?
2 and 2.
So, but then Luke brings the imbalance? Luke and Leia bring imbalance? No, because they're still 2 and 2. Mm-hmm. But then Darth Vader actually... No, he still brings imbalance. Right? Because Darth Vader supposedly kills the Sith Lord in the end of 6. Mm-hmm. And then...
But did he die?
Did he die? Yes.
And that's where I wanted that immortality thing. Does he know immortality? Does he know how to?
So, there's a fan theory about this that Anakin survives because Sidious drains the life from Padme as she's giving birth, giving it back to Anakin.
Whoa.
Because remember he tells that story at the opera about Darth Plagueis could conquer death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and it's also theoried that he is Anakin's father.
Yes. That is stuff I was looking at.
That he created life.
Yep.
By using the Force to impregnate a woman.
Yep. To me, that makes sense, but that's just me. When I heard that,
it makes sense, but it like blows your mind. Like, oh, wait! I just have a question with that. Like, it goes along, but so then he misled Anakin. You're saying that he misled Anakin in that opera scene where he's like, well, or after where he's like, oh, you killed your wife, you killed her,
exactly.
Yep.
So, but we will, or before he said something like, I need your help to help me gather and to do this. Mace
Windu got him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm the only one who can save your family.
Right.
So he was finally speaking the truth because he saw that he could die right there.
No, he was still lying in that situation.
He was still lying, yep. He was still lying.
Why was he? Because he said, I'm the only one who can save your family.
Did he save the family?
No.
He lied and told Vader that he killed her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the kids are dead.
Yep.
He didn't know they were twins, so because I guess she never went to the doctor, for checkups or anything.
I know, like this great thing. Do they not have ultrasound over there?
Yeah,
they have flying cars, but they can't. They don't know what an ultrasound is.
but so he believing that.
Yep, is when he
completely goes to the dark side.
Completely goes to the dark side.
When he kills Mace Windu, kicks him out.
No, when he goes, no.
Yeah.
That's when he completely goes to the dark side.
Completely. Right. He flirted with it a bunch because his eyes kept changing from his normal to the Sith eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Darth Maul's eyes.
And then...
But you look at Sidious's eyes when he puts the hood on, they're like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I like about that. That interaction was pivotal to me. Like, if we're doing that thing again, to me, that was one of those.
We will be doing that again. You better put that in your
whatever thing. But I love that because that is him manipulating the whole situation. I know exactly what I need to say to him to get him
to help me out of this situation.
Yes, exactly.
He had no intention of saving anybody.
No intention.
He wanted his apprentice.
I need my apprentice. I'm going to say whatever he needs to hear.
I want to ask with the apprentice stuff, like, because if he understood that Plagueis, no, who was the guy who... Plagueis. Darth Plagueis. If he was really his apprentice, wouldn't they always be skeptical of their apprentice?
Always.
That's the purpose of it.
Yep.
One who is the master, who has attained it, and the person seeking after the master.
Okay.
But
and then
here's the thing I think about it, though. There can be only two, but who says there's not two over here and two over here?
Yeah.
Running different games. So who's Jar Jar's apprentice?
Because you can say that it's the Galactic Empire, but because space, as they put it, and as we know it, it's forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, you can say the whole Milky Way is Star Wars galaxy, but there's other galaxies there that it's like, wait a minute. You're not the only one. You're not the all-powerful sort of. Like, you may be smart, but you may be the dumb one.
Yeah, you may be the dumb one of the other guys.
Yeah, the other one is, like, more powerful.
Exactly. So, anyways, that's just some fan theories about Palpatine.
But that's what I think with that immortal thing. I think he doesn't care if his apprentice murders him. He can bring himself back to life. And that's why I see him being in these coming up movies.
The last movie.
Yeah.
Because he can bring his
Skywalker
back.
Saga.
Right.
He can bring himself back.
He can bring himself back because he knows how to do it.
Yeah, but
I still think he's a clone. But
when you're dead...
And I want to believe that he brings himself back.
Wait a minute.
Why didn't he fix himself?
Why didn't he fix himself?
Yeah,
with his whole face
with
thing?
his melted face.
Because when he goes to the Senate, he has to say, look, this is what happened to me. He has to prove to the Senate that he was attacked by a Jedi. He has to show. He can't just be like...
But couldn't
later? Could
he
he have done it later?
Shouldn't the security forces be like, wait a second, let's review the tapes? Wait a second. He kills all those Jedi Knights.
That's too advanced for them, man. Come on, George Lucas wouldn't do that.
There was no CSI saying,
No,
never. We're not giving you more power.
Right?
But that is a chilling line, though.
What?
So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Yep.
Yeah, and with that, I think this is kind of interesting. George Lucas, speaking of the God unto himself, like we have complained and said about him all the time, is now what he says about what 1 through 3 were is like the government now, like that it's a tale of government now and how someone with absolute power can do. I can't remember his quote, but I was like, what? It seemed like it was a commentary on government, our government, of what it is right now.
So Bush, because that's who was the president.
No, I think he's talking about now, our government now, not at that time. But that's what he said, and like I think that's
we're not a political show, so
no, we're
not
not
going to get into it.
And I think to me, George Lucas. That's why I say George Lucas has lost it. He definitely has lost it. Lost himself into the story, and it backs what you say up all the time. He doesn't understand the story. He does not understand the story.
Is it Rogue One where why who's making all the money in the story? Who makes all the money from all these wars?
Oh,
who makes all?
No, that's the last one. That's the last Jedi. Because they bring it up.
So who makes all the money from war?
War profiteers.
The people that make the weapons, that make all that.
And then they say there's a good and a bad guy.
In all reality, who makes the money for the wars when we have wars? The guys who make. So when I heard that, I was like, holy moly. Like, I see this. I will jump on that bandwagon. I'm a conspiracy theorist kind of guy. But I see those kind of things. Like, there's other people controlling. Great, the president of the United States makes $200,000 a year. But the guy who controls the president, he's making hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
But that would take you all the way back.
You're
all the way back
magic?
to
right, like,
J.P. Morgan, though.
Yeah,
because J.P. Morgan had to like bankroll like the United States because we were going into debt so much, and so it's like, yes, I can see that, and like with Darth Sidious and Palpatine. Yeah, he played all the strings.
Yes,
played all the strings. He played like we talked about in the last one. He played Jar Jar Binks to give him the power.
Yeah,
and we understood that Amidala would never give him power because she understood the other finer things. Yeah. But Jar Jar, he didn't understand it yet
because he doesn't even know how to speak.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so it's just interesting.
Or he's saying, interesting. I will throw more chaos into this.
Yeah.
Which could be,
yeah.
And then he could be the overlord of everybody. Who everybody
he
thinks
could be
is
the ones over here.
Yeah.
Right. He could be the other two.
He could be playing
I don't know. I like that story subplot thing of how governments interact and how wars are and who's really behind it.
Yeah.
For me, like every president of the United States always gets blamed. Whatever president has been, Bill Clinton, George Bush, Carter, every president. Oh, we shouldn't have gone to Nam because of the president. It's always the president's fault. But if you look behind the scenes, it's not really about one person.
And I don't think, like, in that sort of thing, like, you can't just blame the one president, like our current president. You can't blame him.
No.
You have to blame his successor, and then his successor needs to blame the successor before, all the way back to Washington. Like, everybody has a part of blame.
Predecessor, not successor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, predecessor. The blame is a little bit, and just like with Palpatine in these ones, of how he gained power, you can't blame Palpatine. No. Like, you can kind of blame Palpatine, but Palpatine, the guy before him, because of how ineffective he was and how, oh, boom, here, Palpatine. Give some power to Palpatine, and then I'll give him some more power because you guys are idiots.
That's what I like about that. That's, for me, that's what I like in the backstory of these movies. Yeah. I get to understand that.
So,
how it is.
All the way back in episode 1, the Mace Windu and Yoda kept talking about their diminished ability to use the Force.
Yeah.
And so that's how Palpatine is able to be a Sith Lord in their midst.
For so long.
Without them realizing
it. Knowing. Yeah.
Which is so... that part is interesting, is that the Yoda, which we always believe, we have been taught from 5, 6, that Yoda is this very powerful, and even in one where they talk about how Yoda has a lot of midichlorians or whatever, but he's a very powerful Force person.
Yes,
and even in 2 and 3.
I mean, but then it shows it in this. And
then he has those, then he says he has the diminishing things. Isn't that more of like a personal thing?
No, it's
how can
all the masters are feeling it, that their ability to use the Force is being diminished. But I think that was the dark side of the Force coming into greater focus in where they were.
Like, what do you mean? Like, the dark side of the Force was closing in, like having the walls, like, okay, here's a little... Here were your walls, and then here are your walls, then here are your walls.
Here's the Senate place. Here's the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
He started gaining more and more power.
And then it was way too late when they they finally figured it out.
Yep.
Man, it's got to take some guts to tell Anakin that he's the Sith Lord. And to, like... No. When he revealed who he was.
Yeah, it's... this movie is good. It could have been better. It could have been better. Spot on, but it is by far the best of the prequels.
I agree. Okay, so cliffhanger, key moment, scene stealer. What are your guys's?
I think mine's the same scene. I hate you!
That's the cliffhanger?
That's all of them.
Oh. Yeah, and I would say that's probably Hayden Christensen's best line. And motion, everything.
That proved that he is a better actor than what was shown in these movies.
Yes, I agree with that.
You believed him.
Oh my goodness, you believed him in that one.
Just want to tell everyone that before we started recording, Dave was upstairs and Jake was like, I have to tell you, this is the redeeming moment. Mm-hmm. Not even, we're not like saying it, but this is it. He's an actor.
Yeah.
Motion, everything.
Yeah.
I think the lightsaber scene,
the battle.
In the battle, and then because I feel when you're a competitive person, because both of them are competitive, Obi-Wan had a little bit more background, a little bit more control of his feelings and emotions, but like you can sense that Anakin's anger and hatred is rising, and then it gets to that point. Yes, totally believe
Yes.
I hate you so much. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Even though you're on higher ground, as he says, I'm on higher ground.
It's over.
Yeah.
I have the higher ground. Well, you didn't when you fought Darth Maul there, Obi-Wan. Is it because you figured out how to defend? How Darth Maul should have chopped you to bits?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
That scene.
you underestimate my power.
Do you have a cliffhanger, key moment, or scene stealer?
Like I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
the time where Palpatine is in there and he's melting in his face and all that, and they cast him off. Like for me, that kind of seems like it's the changing point. That's when we get Darth Vader. You are now Darth Vader. That is your name. Blah blah blah. But,
Order 66 happens right after that. And
oh yeah, Order 66. Can maybe I'm not following everything. Where was Order 66 put into place? Is that ever mentioned?
so, because he and Dooku made the clone army,
Right.
they made them with implants in them that
For Order 66.
For Order 66.
Okay.
So
And that's why everybody had them, like Order 66, and then everybody obeyed them.
Went blink.
Yep.
Turned it on.
So the sixth season of the Clone Wars, because it's all happening before Revenge of the Sith. The plot is that one of the clones, his chip misfires, and he starts to try and kill the Jedi working with them. But so, yeah, Order 66. But I think it all comes down to Hayden Christensen, his robot arm trying to grasp so he doesn't go into the lava, saying "I hate you." That was one good final scene.
Yeah.
Want to know something funny? No. George Lucas had to reshoot some of that.
Why?
When he originally shot it, he didn't have Ewan McGregor bend down and pick up the lightsaber.
I'll just leave this with you.
And he needs to do it.
How does he hand it to Luke in episode 4 if he doesn't have the lightsaber, George?
Can you explain maybe why he didn't just kill him? Because he's a Jedi. You don't kill people.
Because of the love he had for him.
Because he said you loved him like a brother.
Yeah,
you were
right.
like a brother.
You were like a brother to me, Anakin.
Oh, that's so.
You were the chosen one.
Does he think he's just going to die there on the side?
Yeah.
Because you think,
Because
what if?
it's the whole Batman Begins. I don't have to save you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
that's right.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Wait, who's in that?
Interstellar.
Who's in that movie?
Yeah.
More Star Wars peeps.
Okay, so the cliffhanger for the magazine is Obi-Wan has to decide whether to kill Anakin, his former Jedi protege.
Just what we were talking
So
about.
that's a good cliffhanger. Key moment, Anakin pledges allegiance to Palpatine, embracing the dark side of the Force.
Yeah.
Pretty key moment.
It is the changing point
That's
of the
changing
movie.
point.
And then the scene stealer, Darth Vader, Anakin's evil carnage.
Yeah, when he kills all the
Reincarnation.
Trade Federation people. And
That, and I think when he becomes also like, to me, the scene stealer awesome is when he comes up with everything.
Yeah.
Like the black suit, everything, where you're just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is the great thing about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what
But
I think.
my vote is still Darth Vader's clinging on with his one robot hand, which I don't know how that one got missed in this. The.
Yeah, right.
But,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll end with my little producer, cinematographer
okay.
thing. So once again, same thing. Everything stayed the same. George Lucas, Rick McCallum was the producer. Cinematographer is the same. David Tattersall. I wanted to end with this. All of the cinematographers from episode 1 to 6 have been British cinematographers. We'll have to see if that trend continues in the next Star Wars movies we do. Very interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, all British.
All British.
All British.
You'll be interested to find out what the next ones will be. And then the editors were Ben Burt again, and they added a new one, Roger Barton. And I'll tell you what Roger worked on. He worked on Titanic, Armageddon,
good.
And his son, Hayden Barton, appeared in the latter film as baby Luke Skywalker and baby Princess Leia.
Aww.
So kind of interesting.
That's cool.
You want to know what's interesting? Is George Lucas and his daughter are actually in this.
Really?
Yeah.
When? Or where?
They're a couple aliens talking. And when I can't remember the exact scene, but the one of the main characters walks past them. And it kind of focuses on them for a second, and then it goes on.
Kind of like, I could see that, because I think most of them do a cameo. Most of the directors do a cameo. Most, like, some of the bigger ones have. Peter Jackson did.
Yes.
M. Night Shyamalan has done. Christopher Nolan, not really.
No, Christopher Nolan doesn't. Oh, just imagine how good this movie could have been if Christopher Nolan did it. Or James Cameron.
James Cameron would have been good.
Goodness.
There would have been a lot more explosions. Not as many as Michael Bay. But
Martin Scorsese in his movies, which I don't watch.
There would have been a lot of F words.
I mean, there would have been. There are always a lot of F words.
Yeah.
In his.
Well, but he didn't direct
yeah.
Revenge of the Sith. So.
Yeah, he would have put a lot of F words in, huh?
Yeah. We would have got the Samuel L. Jackson. Use the force, mother.
So true. So true.
So this is the movie that's most worth watching of the three.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Okay. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think of the movie. It's fun. It's enjoyable. The best of the first three, of course. So please rate, comment, subscribe, rate, leave a comment. Thank you. Have a great night or day.